Hey everybody, guess what we found?
The unaired Buffy pilot!
So we figured we'd do a little watch party.
Live on YouTube!
So stay tuned for deets.
And if the apocalypse comes,
Tweet us.
Wake up to a new morning, pop in a little nostalgia, just be kind and listen to the rewind.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Rewind. This is Keenan.
And I'm Jonah.
Jonah, did you enjoy that little intro?
Oh my god, I forgot that we were gonna do that. And then when it popped up, I was like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, oh, that's our intro. Like, I loved it. I was bobbing my little head. Like, it was the first time I heard it, like I do every time I hear it.
Okay, so we have switched recording platforms. I'm hoping that we don't have many hiccups today, but so at the top of the episode, I played our intro, and so it's like we have like little credits, and if we drop the video, then boom, we don't have to edit anything into it. We have opening credits.
It's truly just legit as fuck, and I am here for it.
Yes. So everybody, we are here to talk about our next series, and I'm so excited because Mother is back.
Mommy.
Mother is back. Mother is back.
Mother.
Okay, Jonah, tell them about Wolfpack.
Okay, so we are today talking about Wolfpack, which is a series based on the book by Ido van Belkom. I probably fucked that all the way up, but that's his name. And it follows a teenage boy and girl whose lives are changed forever when a California wildfire awakens a terrifying supernatural creature and drives it to attack a highway traffic jam beneath the burning hills. Wounded in the chaos, the boy and girl are inexplicably drawn to each other and to two other teenagers who were adopted 16 years earlier by a park ranger after another mysterious wildfire. As the full moon rises, all four teens come together to unravel the secret that connects them, the bite and blood of a werewolf. It literally just gave me chills. Literally just gave me chills as I wrapped that last sentence. I'm like, yes.
I'm loving it. Oh, God.
Okay, so it was written and executive produced by Jeff Davis. And this series is part of his multi-year deal with MTV Entertainment Studios.
Okay.
He has a history with them because he is also the creator of the Teen Wolf series. And he also wrote and produced the Paramount Plus original film Teen Wolf the Movie, which is also currently available to stream and which we will also be covering soon on the podcast. In addition to Davis, Joe Gnier, Mike Elliott, and Kieran Groteski serve as executive producers for Capital Arts. Jason Ensler, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Christian Taylor serve as executive producers. I love that they have pushed her. They were smart with this, right, Keenan? Because they knew the most high profile name that would draw like a whole generation or more of viewers is SMG. So even though she is an executive producer and she really isn't seen a lot in the first few episodes, which we have to talk about that. We will talk about that because she mentioned something in an interview that I just literally stumbled across this morning. And I'm so glad I saw it before. I mean, it's nothing super in-depth or like secrety, but she makes a point to address that. And I'm so glad that she did. But she's seen very little in the first two episodes, although they have been pushing her to the front of promo for this show. And you've been seeing her in all the interviews. You've hardly seen any of the other cast members. I truly can't even recall an interview where I've seen like any of the other cast members or even the creator, Jeff Davis.
Knew who we wanted. They know exactly. Yes. We don't want anybody else. We don't care about anybody else on that screen but all SMG. Like, give us Sarah Michelle Buffy right now.
It's because they recognize her value to this genre and they recognize her value to draw in older generation, a bunch of millennials, older Gen Zers, and also because of their young cast, they are capturing younger audiences. So it's truly brilliant, and I am here for it. So, all right, Keenan, give us the stats on where this show lands as far as Rotten Tomatoes goes, and then introduce the casting characters for us.
Alrighty, so the tomato meter, 39%. Who gives a fuck? Audience score, 79%. Keenan's score, I'm giving it right now 100% because not just because I got to see Sarah, but like I'm very intrigued in this story. I watched the first 2 episodes. Even that first episode did a great job of like making me want to go, who the fuck are these kids? Their stories, the way they were telling the story of the father who adopted the 2 cubs, like as he's fucking fighting his way through the wildfires, and every time he stops, he thinks about his kids, and he's like, I gotta keep going. And I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah,
he's not like I'm already very invested in this guy.
Can we talk about how that actor is acting his ass off in this wildfire? Like, I was thinking about it last night as I was watching it. I was like, oh my god, he is giving it his all, because I truly felt I was having trouble breathing watching him.
I'm just like, when he's like collapsed, y'all, I'm sorry, I'll get into this, but you know how I start to ramble. When he was like collapsed and you see the hell. Okay, also spoilers. We also know that there are going to be spoilers for the first 2 episodes.
Everybody should know this at this point.
When the helicopter is coming down and it looks like wolf eyes are about to attack him, I'm like shaking. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I knew, like, because they already told us they found him. So I knew nothing was going to happen to him. Well, not really, because they didn't say how he was found. But it was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh, it's just the helicopter.
Right.
Like,
well, you see him in other clips, promo clips with him interacting with Sarah Michelle, right? So I knew also because of that.
I did not recognize that.
Because of that, I knew he was going to survive. But still, there was like a few moments here and there where it was so like, I'm like, wait, maybe this is the twist. Maybe they just like wanted to, like, because sometimes they'll intentionally lead you astray, but that would have been flat out lying, I feel. So I don't think they want to piss off the audiences that fast.
So let's run through this really fast so we can talk about everything. So the series stars Sarah Michelle Gellar, of course, of Buffy the Vampire Slayer fame, as Kristen Ramsey. We have Rodrigo Santoro, Westworld, as Garrett Briggs. That is the daring adopted father that I was just talking about.
Okay, maybe that's where I recognize him from, is Westworld.
I have never seen an episode of Westworld.
I trudged through season 1 and I couldn't finish anymore. It was really hard. It's a lot like Dollhouse.
Okay. I barely remember Dollhouse.
Yeah.
Armani Jackson of Honor Society, and Chad as Everett Lang, who is I'm assuming one of our main characters. That's the young boy that was bitten. And then Bella Shepherd of iCarly and The Wilds fame as Blake Navarro. She is the young woman who was bitten. Then we have Chloe Rose Robertson of Wildflower as Luna Briggs, and Tyler Lawrence Gray of Our Town and Macbeth as Harlan Briggs. Those are the 2 innate werewolves. They were born little wolf cubs, and we see them as little wolf cubs, and then we see their little infant hands. And I went, oh.
That was so good. It's interesting what they're doing. Okay, because this truly is a totally separate world from what we came to know as Jeff Davis' first Teen Wolf series, because in the Teen Wolf series, as you would recall, as you're rewatching now, their wolves they're not true wolves in the sense of four-legged animal the way that they showed these kids. They are like a hybrid of wolf and human, so they can stand upright and they just have wolf-like features, right?
Way more humanoid.
Yeah, but in this case, it's the opposite end, where it's like you're either fully wolf or you're fully human at any point.
No, well, I say this. the alpha, because I'm just rewatching Teen Wolf, and it seems like the alpha is more wolf-like than the betas. Like they're much more closer to animal. But I don't know. I guess we can talk about that when we talk about the Teen Wolf movie. But yeah, I'm very intrigued in this kind of like wolf lore. Like, why is this wolf going to kill them? Or is this just like hunters trying to draw them away from the alpha that turned them, or the wolf that turned them? Because we don't know what happened to old dude.
Yeah, I think I have a few. I'm toying around with a few different like theories.
Okay.
I sense that Sarah Michelle's character, Kristen Ramsey, is a bigger piece in the puzzle than they are wanting us to believe she is at this point.
Okay.
I am leaning towards there being a sort of like secret arc reveal the way that there was in Wednesday, where like how Christina Ricci's character ended up becoming the villain by the end, and it was like, oh wait, so she's not, okay, so she's a huge piece to this whole thing, like more than we realize. So I feel like it's going to end up becoming something like that, where she is either, like you have called it before, a hunter, or she is the quote unquote alpha wolf. I feel like they are leaning hard into the whole like, oh, it's our father. And I'm like, why do they assume it's a father and not mother? I know.
Oh my God, usually, can Sarah be a wolf, please?
Yes. I'm like, I think
let her be the supernatural being.
Because who better to start fires, right, than an arson investigator? To start fires and to like, so it can go either way.
Also, can we talk about how they were questioning all those kids without their parents or attorneys present?
Oh, they were so intimidating. Like, okay, how about the scene in the pilot where, or not even the pilot, I think it was the second episode, where poor old the friend, I can't remember his name, but the little dangly white boyfriend of Everett, like he's caught in the fence, and like right before that or right after that, when Everett stumbles upon his friend's cast and pieces, and he picks it up, then comes in like swerving in is like Sarah Michelle Gellar with a whole fleet of police vehicles.
First of all, it is 2003. Why are we still picking up evidence?
I said the same thing. I'm like, you literally just you totally like fucked up a whole crime scene, dude. Like, have you never watched Law and Order? And then I'm like, wait, he's like 12. Of course he's never watched Law and Order.
It's like, why? Like, yes, okay, you see that's your friend's cat. Don't fucking touch it. Don't touch it. People. Don't touch anything. Your instinct is going to be to run over. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't get anywhere near it.
Yeah.
Grieve from afar. Don't touch anything.
Yeah, but that's my theory. I feel like Sarah Michelle is either going to be like a undercover hunter posing as an arson investigator, or like dueling as arson investigator so that she can, track down this alpha wolf, or she is the alpha wolf.
That's what I want now.
I know.
I want that.
Okay, but here's my question. Like, why does the wolf... Did you notice how the wolf bite looks human?
It looks so small. I was like...
human. I'm like, why is it so small? Like, it looks like it could be human with a couple of sharp teeth. And I'm like, what?
So that's what makes me like, when you were saying earlier that they're much more wolf-like, like, because they have like a snout, and so like for it to be a regular size wolf, that would make sense. Right? For that kind of bite. But it just didn't look like what I was imagining the big bad wolf kind of like situation to be.
And
it
also
looks very small.
Those special effects. I know that we want to give like some flexibility, but I'm like, come on, y'all. Did y'all give all your budget to Sarah Michelle Gellar to pay her to come to the show? Because those special effects are not special effecting. It was rough. Like when he picks up the dog and like throws him, and like the dog is even CGI until he hits the wall and gets up and runs away.
Listen, that dog coming to the rescue was like out of left field. I was like, what the fuck was that? Like at first I thought it was another werewolf, and then I was like, that was that damn dog. She did not bond. That dog was not a ride or die at that point.
I mean, okay, but it was because you see, whenever she came back, like it recognized her as its alpha. Like it kind of bowed to her as, okay, you're the leader. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay.
Makes me wonder, I'm like, why is it going up against another thing? I don't know. But it was very like,
dogs are way more loyal than humans, Keenan. That's why they're better to have around than actual people.
Until you die.
Well, I mean, I'm like, look, that's less money you have to spend on a plot. So,
get out of here.
You're gonna feed Mother Nature one way or the other. Might as well feed my dog.
Get out of here.
Also, can we talk about how Everett's mom is a bitch? This bitch is just brutal. I'm like, I can't tell if she's a bitch out of like being like a overly concerned mother, or if she's just an abusive mom. Like, you know what I mean? Like she slaps him at one point, and I'm like, you just slapped a little boy who has been through trauma on top of already dealing with like daily crushing anxiety. Like, where the fuck is your compassion, mother? Anyway, that's my rant for that episode. I feel like they went, she's going too hard. And I'm like, I've seen you in so many other things, Miss Madame, and you're great. You're a great actress, but you're going way too hard. And I'm like, are they going to kill her off? And they're just trying to make it feel okay for us to not
to
say goodbye.
I doubt it. I don't know. I want to see more of that family backstory, because for her to be as like the way she is, it really felt unbelievable for me to allow their child to be questioned by the police unattended, because they wouldn't have been old enough to be like, we were with our dad. Like they left the room voluntarily, and I was like, in their house. I was like,
right.
No, this is not realistic at all. Like that would not.
Oh, and also I don't like how the dad seems like he's terrified of the mom. And I'm like, really? We're gonna write like that. I don't know. That's one area where I'm like, I don't like everything about that family dynamic is icky to me. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to see more of it to better understand them, or if I just want them out of the picture. But I don't like any of that so far. But I am here for the chemistry between Everett and Blake. Blake is, I liked her from jump because I like that toughness. You can tell she has a hard exterior, but it's because she's been forced to grow up. And that's such a relatable character and character trope as well, I think, probably especially for a lot of supernatural shows. But I don't know. I just liked her, and there was something about her that felt familiar. And until at a certain point when she just starts running into the fire, like she's running in the woods. Like
the only thing I like about her is her relationship with her brother. That is it. Like everything else about that character is so annoying. It is the like, oh, I see all the supernatural shit happening, but I'm not going to believe it. I refuse to say it. I refuse to believe it. And I'm just like, you just saw a goddamn werewolf chase your ass in your own house. Get the fuck out of here. Don't say it. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that is where I was like, okay, come on. Like, it's hard to believe that it's so hard to believe for you.
Listen, if I got bit by anything, the first thing I would be like, am I about to be like aware of what?
Oh, we'd be like Everett's character. We'd be like Everett's character, where like Everett didn't even need any like supernatural, like anything to be convinced that he was a werewolf. He was like on board with it from jump. But I don't know. I think I just like her fierceness. But I am with you on that. I felt like that was like,
Yeah, that's just,
come on.
it's a trope that it gets annoying because it's like the thing has happened, like you've seen it. Like it's one thing to kind of be like, no, it's just an animal bite. But when you see the fucking werewolf in your house chasing you,
like body
and you've
slam a
already
dangerous
seen the
dog.
damn thing across the street staring at you and your brother, and you had like wiggy feelings and had to dip. So like
Yeah.
so annoying. Let's talk about the Briggs twins. Luna
They're fascinating.
and Harlan. Harlan's also kind of annoying, but I'm very here for Luna. I think she's gonna be my favorite.
I like Luna.
I can already tell that I really love Luna and I love Everett, and I have a feeling they're going to be like good friends. That's what I want. I want them to be like the dynamic duo of the group because they're the ones that seem like they want to know what's going on. So I think they're going to click very early. I don't know.
Okay, question. How does arson investigator Kristen Ramsey, aka Sarah Michelle, know that the fire starter is a teenager? Did they reveal that?
No, I think she was just saying like that whoever started it had to have been there. So it could have been one of those people. Did they say for certain they know it's a teenager?
She said it. She literally said it on the phone. Remember when she calls Everett after he had left the hospital and evaded them? And she calls him on the phone and she's like, because it happens at the end of the pilot where she's like, and here's another thing. We know that the fire starter is a teenager. She explicitly says it. And I'm like, but how do you know that?
Yeah, that's wild.
And then they get into it later about...
haven't shown.
Well, they do get into it later about like, well, she explains a little bit more in detail that usually fire starters, Scott, I keep wanting to call Everett Scott because that's Scott McCall from the Teen Wolf. But like Everett like he kind of mentioned, he already knew that usually arsonists kind of either return or stick around to watch the damage that they've done through the fire that they've started. And so when they're having a conversation and she's asking them questions at his house, that's brought up. But she said it with such confidence that she knew the fire starter as a teenager before that. And I just was like, what? How do you know? So I would have hoped that they would reveal that in the second episode, but they still haven't, as far as I can recall.
Interesting.
And I also want to know like why the twins assume. I think I've already kind of like touched on this a little bit, but why do they assume that the wolf is their dad and not their mom? Like, how do they know that?
Do we know? Like, maybe we're gonna find out that she died in the fire or something. I don't know. Like, but because he only said something about like finding the cubs. So it's not like who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I want to know more about the twins. I want to see what Garrett Briggs looks like, all like not smoky and his face covered, because I have a feeling he's gonna be hot as fuck.
Oh, he's a cutie, yeah. He's daddy for sure. And I want to say in real life, maybe he has an accent. Like, I think maybe he's Australian or something.
Oh my God.
I know. Like, icing on the cake.
What is it?
Icing on the big, sexy daddy cake.
Rodrigo Centaro. What a name.
Yeah, let's look him up.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, we got to talk about that opening scene.
Okay, off the jump, stakes from jump. And I was like, okay. Not them driving into a fire. And then I want to punch that kid that started filming the bus driver.
Oh, that awoke a rage in me. That I when she threw the phone out the window, and I think that's one of the things that's why I liked Blake, is because she calls bullshit, and she low-key like wants to help people, I think, and is like good. And so when she clocked that kid was being a total asshat, and she had revealed later after the bus driver, spoiler alert, gets her face shredded by the wolf, she knew her name when Everett didn't even know that. And I'm like, oh, she's someone who, while on the outside, it seems like she's got this hard exterior. She's unapproachable. She sort of plays that role to keep her distance from you. But low key, she values people, or she values relationships, or she connects with people on some level that would be unexpected from if you're just seeing her from the outside. And her just knowing the bus driver's name and just kind of like empathizing for that brief moment. And then like throwing that asshole's phone out the window and does it so unapologetically without even saying a word, just looks at him. I was like, that's so funny.
I saw the phone flying out the window. I think I looked away, but I saw the phone flying out the window and I never knew who did it.
Yep, it was her. It was like, she's like, you dumb ass hack, get the fuck on. I mean,
have you ever seen 300?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen 300, but he was Xerxes.
Hold the fuck up. Let me look
he was
up.
Someone named Paulo and Lost. I've only seen like 3 episodes from the first season of Lost.
You never saw... Oh, I thought you watched all of Lost.
No.
Oh my God. This was him from... Okay, he's a Brazilian actor. So... Oh, wow. He's unrecognizable in 300. Oh, but he was that guy. What? Oh, man. Oh, he's intense looking. Okay, what else you got for us, Rodrigo Santoro?
Yeah, I don't know a lot of these projects. There are things that I think people would know. He did a 2020 movie called The Immortal Warrior.
Him on this Rolling Stone cover is cute. He has a great jawline.
A movie called Rio and Rio 2. I think they're animated movies. Yeah, so I mean, he has a very vast career. That's amazing.
Oh, he was in Charlie's Angels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did run across Full Throttle. It was Full Throttle, not the first one.
I guess he was a surfer or something. Oh God, that body. Okay.
Yeah, I'm very excited now to see what we get. That's a very hot man.
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, he was the one that was getting questioned in Full Throttle when I want to say it was, oh my God, Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, there's a scene still with them together.
I haven't seen Charlie's Angels Full Throttle in a while, or the first one for that matter. It's been a minute.
I honestly did not hate Full Throttle, but I feel like it doesn't get a lot of love out of...
Yeah, I mean, it was very fun. I think it was just as fun as the first one. So I don't understand.
I mean, Demi Moore as a fallen angel, come on.
Into it. And you get like a Jacqueline Smith, like an OG angel like cameo. Get out of here. Get out.
Yeah, man, I forgot about that.
Yes, that was classic. I had a moment. I loved the original series. I thought I owned the first season of the original series. It's very fun.
Okay, so going back to the pilot, the opening scene, that moment where you see them drag the asshole kid away, because he comes out of the fire, right, and he's like, "Get back in the bus. There's something in the smoke or something." And then it jerks him away. But then don't you see him later, like he had survived and was walking around?
I had so many of those kids mixed up.
I know that.
I was just like, all these kids look the same. I don't know who is whom. I think I did a decent job of keeping track of Everett and Blake. And that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
And also, how about the poor guy who got his face trampled by a deer?
Oh my God!
I audibly yelled.
That's where all the budget went. The budget went to that because I feel like they spared no expense on that opening sequence. It was very good, and it had just the right amount of jump scares. Like I knew things were about to come out of that out of the forest. And I was like, get your ass back in that bus.
Mm-hmm.
You dumbass. Get back in that. Don't stare.
Mm-hmm.
Get back in the bus. That is clearly the thunderous sound of a stampede. Get back in the bus.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they would have been safe had they stayed in the bus.
That's
right?
what I was like, okay, why is everyone getting out of the bus when they see a fucking stampede of forest creatures running at them? Like, you're getting out of safety into danger? Like,
right. Worst case scenario, something shakes the bus. I don't think anything would have come out of there with enough force to knock it over unless several animals hit it at one time.
Right.
But they were trying to get the fuck up out of there. So they would have gone around it or whatever. Yeah. So I'm just like, why are we getting out of the big metal enclosure?
And then I guess if they didn't though, we wouldn't have a show, right? But like still, like it ain't common sensing enough for me.
I think the bus driver at least would have said there. She'd be like, okay, y'all take your little asses out there if you want to.
Yeah, I would have stayed. I'm like, okay, go ahead. But how about poor old woman who, well, she wasn't old, but the poor lady who like gets rammed to death against her car.
Brutal. It was brutal. I was like, I remember going, oh, we got stakes right off the jump. They were like, oh, the kids have driven into an active forest fire. Scene begins. Like, what?
I mean, why? And then, and it's funny the idea that they, I know it's just a joke, but I like the idea that they used up all the budget on that scene because that's the scene that they keep playing everywhere for promos, right? Like that's in the trailer. That's like the pivotal scene that they show in the interviews. Like, they're like, we can't show the scene in the house where the dog gets body slammed with a CGI monster. Okay. Like we have to focus on where all the budget went.
Yeah, but I also feel like werewolves are really hard to do. Like, I don't know, like, sometimes they either just feel really weird. Like, I like what Werewolf by Night did when it was very all, like, shadows for the transformation. But even his werewolf was very much like a Teen Wolf werewolf. Like, it was a little bit more humanoid than animal. So I don't know what they were doing.
But I'm not here for the werewolf. I'm not here for the special effects. I'm here for one thing and one thing only. And that is Queen Mother, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Okay. So that's all that matters, honestly. The rest is just, fun.
Icing.
It's just fun.
It's very icing on the cake.
So, okay, speaking of Sarah Michelle, we talked a little bit before about like the surprisingly small amount of screen time that she gets in these first two episodes. And it's easy as a Sarah Michelle fan, if you're tuning into the show, which I think most people probably are, who aren't just fans of the other Teen Wolf series, but like fans of SMG who are tuning in specifically for her, could have easily been disappointed by the fact that she's not in a ton of scenes here. Although I will say the scenes that she is in she's eating, right? Like she's eating.
The moment like when she walks into the hospital, I was like, ate it. Like left no crumbs. Here she is just like rolling into this bitch like, you see me, answer my question.
Yes, the confidence, the snarkiness. Like, okay, well, I want to run something by you, and you tell me if you recognize it a little bit. But the energy she had in the scene when she comes to his house and Everett's house, and they do that kind of close up where she turns, like they show a wide shot of like the other law enforcement officers, like that asshole cop who is just so annoying.
He is somebody, and I didn't get a chance to look him up, but he is someone that I enjoy.
Oh, okay.
I've seen him in things before, so I'm like.
But like they show a wide shot of him, and then they show like a close up version that like blurs in to focus with her turning around, and she says, "Hi, Everett. I'm so glad we could catch you this time." Very like nonchalantly and sarcastic. And then later she's talking, and he's like, she puts out her hand for him to shake. Which this is such an awkward scene where she puts out her hand for him to shake, but she's on the other side of the room, it looks. And then he's just standing there looking guilty as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, shaking my hand is an admission of guilt. And he's like,
that I clocked. I was like,
yeah.
whoa.
And then he's like, so you think I have something to be guilty for? And she's like, well, not at the moment, but let's see how the conversation goes. And so her confidence, and that was giving me Buffy season 5 when she's addressing the council, when they come to gaslight her into thinking they have information about Glory, and she's spending the whole episode like having to like put on a dancing act for them with like her training and like strategy and all that bullshit, when really at the end of it she does that power speech of like, I finally figured out why everyone's telling me I'm so unimportant, and it's because of power. I have it, they don't. That kind of thing is sort of that energy where she's dominating the conversation, and she's like, and maybe I'm just like, I'm throwing too much credit to her because I'm so biased, but like, I don't know. I just felt like there was something there. And it also a little bit of a cross of Catherine Myrtle. Like there was something about sort of that very confident, like, I know more than you.
Who is Catherine Myrtle?
Cruel Intentions.
Catherine Murtoy.
Murtoy? But it has an L in it. Is it French?
Yeah.
It's so annoying that you know that. Stop it, okay?
No, but they very specifically pronounce it Murtoy in the
I've
movie.
never heard them pronounce that before. I need a fact check. Show me a clip.
Hold on.
I feel like I've literally, they've been talking about on all these interviews lately because they keep reminding her like how she's a 90s icon. Like, duh, bitch, we know she's a 90s icon. She knows she's a 90s icon. You don't have to give her whole rundown of all the things she's done, but they do. And Cruel Intentions is in there. And everybody's saying Catherine Myrtle. No one says Catherine Moytoil or whatever. Like, are you sure? Give me a clip. I gotta see it to believe it.
I'm trying to see if I can find something where she says her name.
Anyway, while you're doing that, let me finish my thought on this. So it's easy to be disappointed if you're tuning in as a Sarah Michelle Gellar fan to see her on screen in such a minimal capacity. But in a recent interview that I just saw this morning, or a clip of, she said, like, because she was asked, like, what can fans of yours, what should they know? Or like as they are tuning in, and she's like, well, if you're tuning in to watch a show, just remember it's a slow burn with my character, and that there are twists that you will not see coming. And then she proceeds to tell a story about how she's good at catching twists in movies because she accidentally spoiled The Sixth Sense for her husband, Freddie Prinze Jr., when I went to see it in theaters. And like 5 minutes into the movie, she's like, they're just casually eating popcorn. She's like, is he dead? And it ruined the movie for him. And he won't go see movies with her to this day. Like, at least movies like that with big twists. And so she's like, I didn't even clock the twist when I first read the script. So she's like, I can guarantee you no one else is going to see it. So I'm like, let's see, Sarah, because I got some theories.
Well, I just remembered, I think I know where they say her name.
Are you just still looking for that clip?
Uh-huh.
We'll just go back to it afterwards.
I just need, like, are you fucking kidding me? It was like right at the top. Because he says her name when he calls her up to the podium. But this clip just starts like right at the thing. Okay, I'll find it.
Yeah,
I'll have to find it. If I have to watch that movie, I'll find it.
Okay. I mean, I'll own it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't remember at any point ever in my entire existence hearing her name.
I'll find it. I'll have to find it now.
Okay, so a couple of things about the like mythology of the series so far. So we've established that only those who are bitten can see the bite.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, Siri is listening in to me again. Can you hear her? You creepy bitch. Stop doing that. Ugh. She got the hell out of me. Somebody was in my ear behind me. But like, so only the bitten can see their bite, each other's bite, once it's healed. But so the born, those who are born as wolves, can't see it. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then the bitten and the born are psychically connected. Or I say psychically to a certain degree. Like, those two sets are psychically connected to a degree, but then the bitten are even more closely connected, it seems. Like Blake and Everett are, I mean, they can see each other like from other locations when they're in two different locations, because she could see him in the hospital bed, he could see her like on the bathroom floor, I guess.
It's interesting. I wonder also too, because it seemed like there was, at least on his side, like a little bit of like pre-existing attraction to her. So I'm like, I wonder if that has anything to do with it too.
Yeah. I think I just don't love what they're doing with the parents. Like, I just feel like the parents.
Yeah, but like, you know, in shows like these, oftentimes the parents are like
collateral damage.
Yeah, like they're just like a non-issue. Like, I feel like there really has been another show that's been able to capture like that Mama Joyce energy. Yeah, because even like her dad is trash. So it's like, oh, not two sets of trash parents for our like main duo.
Yeah, I guess at least he's kind of trying, but it's just like, I don't feel like you're trying hard enough, Daddy.
Yeah. And then like, just because she has like the brother on the spectrum and the way he is, like, come take care of your brother. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, he definitely takes her for granted.
I can't deal with this guy. Like, the fact that he even realized that she was very clearly just coming from an attack when she got back to the house. And he was like, where have you been? You should have been here with your brother. And I'm like, it's a fucking...
Where the fuck have you...
Where do you
cussing
think
at
the
her.
Fuck she was? Right. Yeah. Like, it was just like, where the fuck do you think she was? She was going to school because it's a school day.
Mm-hmm. And then running for her life. Okay. Standout characters, Keenan.
Also, just one other thing that I'm struggling to understand.
Okay.
So the friend that was like going through all his like stuff in the hospital that we are led to believe was bitten with the cast.
Yes, I can't remember his name.
Why do we think he never healed? Like, they made a point of showing us her scars before her face healed, and then they kept going, your skin. And then he developed abs, like just Tutaku abs.
But I'm like, are those his real abs? Because they never show his face and the abs in the same shot. It's two different. And I'm like, did they not give this baby time enough to get in shape for this show? And they're showing like the crew hands like abs or something. Like,
it's probably a body double, maybe. Yeah. Who knows? So he's like, I'm still trying to work on my fitness to get it together.
He's still trying to beef up. His arms look great though.
I was like, but I'm sure he was just like already hiding that underneath that little shirt. Mm-hmm. I say that and I'm like, how old is this kid?
I know, right? I'm like, you see me getting quiet, right? I'm not saying anything else. This is like,
these shows are also like, stop. I don't know. I was like,
stop making these babies so cute.
It's ridiculous. MTV was what MTV does. They're like
trying to trap us.
Everyone. Let me see. Oh my gosh.
Are you looking for his name?
Yeah, I was gonna IMDb look up his age now because I'm
Everett's age. I would guess probably 17 or 18.
Also, I saw Armani Jackson, and part of me was like, is he a Jackson? Like, is he related to like Michael and them?
No.
He's
surely not.
19 years old.
Oh, I was close. Okay.
He's from Madison, Wisconsin.
Land of the cheese.
Did you say land of the cheese?
Land of the cheese, yeah. It's where that good cheese grows.
You get good and stopped up.
You know what I was like, with his name, I kept getting confused. I was like, that's interesting that his last name is Lang. They must gonna tie him into like Scott Lang, because I forgot. I was thinking, Scott Lang is from the first Teen Wolf series, and I was like, wait a minute. And so literally while we were recording earlier, I googled Scott Lang, and I'm like, fuck, that's from Ant-Man. Scott Lang is Ant-Man. That's a totally different.
Whoopsie!
Totally different world.
Oh my god! Wild.
It's embarrassing. And I told him
when this wolf verse enters the MCU,
that would be fun.
He's cousins with Werewolf by Night.
Yeah. Even though it's like decades separate. I also thought it was funny that they named like her Luna, like one of the born wolf twins, Luna. When Luna is one of the most popular names for female dogs right now. Have you noticed that? Well, you wouldn't have noticed that because you're not a dog person, but in this day and age, everybody's naming their dog Luna. I have a friend right now who has a dog named Luna.
I don't approve. Luna is a cat name. Like, I don't approve of people naming their dogs Luna. No, that's a cat name. Sorry.
You don't approve. You are not even a dog person. You have no say.
That is a cat name, and I don't appreciate it.
I also know a friend who named his cat Luna also.
Because that is a very cat name. Well, that also because of, Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
But like, cats getting lunar names just makes more sense.
Why? Because of Sailor Moon?
No. Just because.
No.
Cats are witchy and so is the moon, so...
But werewolves actually change. Their power comes from the moon. So they have more like claim to moon or lunar power than cats. Yeah,
I'm never gonna argue. I'm never gonna agree. Like, you can argue all you want. I'm never gonna agree. I don't like lunar names on dogs. I hate it. I hate it so much.
A weird opinion, but whatever. You're entitled to it.
I hate it so much. It's not liked at all.
Okay. Well, standout characters. Speaking of Luna.
I liked Luna. I'm interested in their wolf powers. And then I'm like, why is she only able to smell things and he can only like hear things? Like, is that like they both have exceptional hearing and smelling, but one has it better than the other? Like, one excels in one and the other. Like, I don't understand.
And why is it suddenly overbearingly strong now?
Yeah, I feel like that's because of proximity to we keep saying alpha. I feel like we are using Teen Wolf terms, but Wolfpack has not given us a term for this wolf yet. So until
maybe it's a beta.
I don't know about that.
Beta is a wolf term as well.
I know, but definitely what this wolf is doing feels very alpha to me.
And can females be alpha?
I'm sure.
I'm like, why not?
I'm sure. I think there was one in True Blood.
Yeah, a female who took over as alpha, right? Maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, all you gotta do is, in True Blood, you just gotta kick the pack leader's ass. Because they call them pack leaders in True Blood.
Okay.
But yeah.
So Luna, I agree. I've got my eyes on her. Obviously, Kristen Ramsey, Sarah Michelle Gellar. I mean, like, that's a no-brainer. Like, she's intended to be mysterious.
What she has going on. What are your secrets, Miss Ramsey?
Standout moments, Keenan. I mean, aside from that, like, really intense
mush
highlight. Oh God, the space mush. That truly caught me off guard.
I was like, it's that kind of party. That's when I was like, this is what we doing. Okay.
I had so much hope for the special effects whenever I saw that. But then whenever the like wolf like catches them in the house and like fights the dog, I'm like, okay, never mind.
You know, I think too, when it comes to werewolf stuff, I'm very like lenient because I know werewolves are very like,
it's hard.
Because I mean, let's just remember what Wolf Oz looks like on Buffy.
I know.
Everything is graded on that curve.
Both iterations of that wolf. I love how Buffy, like Oz's werewolf in Buffy, like in the first and second seasons were like very much like classic like Wolfman, and then as the seasons progress, it shrinks in stature and looks more like a dancing baboon. Like it's just like it just looks, even the fur is lighter, and I'm like, what did this happen? Did his werewolf go through puberty but backwards?
That werewolf was wild. I can remember like like whenever they would shoot it with the train gun, it would make those like dog squeal noises, and I'm like, what?
Honestly, I thought it got kind of cuter as second and third, fourth seasons went on. I'm like, oh, it's cute. I'd have one of those for a pet.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Not at all. Oh my god, is there another scene that I really love? I actually kind of like the chase scene in the hospital with that kid.
I was just thinking that. It's so funny you said it, because I was thinking how like fucked up it was that they wrote him to like beat his cast off with a rock, which seems unnecessarily intense, right?
You're talking about like do every time he hit his leg, I was like,
he acted his ass off in that scene, right? Like it was truly good.
And then like there's no body or blood.
All right, he falls backwards, like screaming in pain, and then at the same time, like no one hears this. Like this kid's now back screaming in pain, and then suddenly the wolf shows up in front of him.
Yeah, he took all that to get to, and I was like, oh, the wolf's about to come around this corner. I just know it is.
I thought I was gonna yank him back through the fence, but it came from the other side. I was like, damn it.
I feel like I'm like, are we gonna find out that this wolf is like, oh shit, I fucked up, I bit these kids. Now I need to like
take them out.
Like, well, not even take them out, but like I need to see what's going on. Because like this one kid, like he didn't heal. Like the other ones, all their stuff healed, but his leg didn't heal.
Yeah, that's weird to me. I wonder if it's like a flesh thing. Like broken bones don't heal as fast, but flesh does. I don't know.
It's like I can't heal your bones.
But also
you got to get an 8-pack.
Yeah, I don't. Also, another thing is like, why did the wolf only bite some people but then eat and slash open the throats of others? I'm like, is it picking and choosing?
I think that's very much werewolf lore altogether. Like sometimes people get bit, sometimes they get fucked up. You just never really know. Sometimes they're taking everybody out. Sometimes maybe they just had enough time to bite one person. But I think if this is an animal that is like reacting to fire, that it just may be very sporadic in its actions, because it's like, you're in my way, get out of my way.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm here for it though. I want to know all, like I want a backstory of Kristen Ramsey. I want to know where she was in the first fire back then. Did she investigate that one as well?
Mm-hmm. Like how long has she been working for this unit? Like would she know this fire? Like is it new? Or is this just a cover? Is this just a cover because she knows what's really up? They set them fires because they were trying to kill the wolves.
Yeah. And what part of California is this set in? Because I didn't think it was LA, but
they kept saying LA.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, because like I think they may be somewhere in the valley. They may be. Yeah. I'm not gonna say Calabasas, but that's the only California Valley community. I know.
What I would give to just get like a random Kardashian scene where one of them's getting shredded by the werewolf.
Why are you trying to take them out? Leave them girls alone.
No,
you go see Courtney like, we got to go. Get in the car, kids.
I just picture like the wolf coming at them, and then Kris Jenner is just like, she jumps in front of them and starts growling back at the wolf, and he runs off scared, like whimpering.
Kris is always going to be the alpha in the situation.
Kris is truly like
Kris Jenner. Oh my God, she's a mess.
Also, I'm like, why has Kris Jenner never gotten her own reality spinoff? Because I would honestly rather watch her than any of the girls.
Well, she's the EP, and she knows where the money is. I don't think she wants.
Well, she did. Didn't she try to have her own talk show at one point, and it didn't?
Did she? I missed out on that.
Yeah, it lasted a few episodes. I think.
Not Kris.
Yeah, I would have been here for that.
Show.
That's interesting.
I would have watched a Kris Jenner show. Shit.
Did you ever watch Chloe and Cocktails or whatever it's called? That was on like Hulu or E or whatever it was.
No,
it's available on Hulu right now.
The only of their like side shows I ever watched were like when it was like Chloe and Courtney Take Miami.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I don't think I saw the one where it was like Courtney and Kim. Like there was one where they did with Kim. Kim in the older seasons was very annoying.
Yeah. I want to see. I want them to revisit that format, but make it somewhere that's way more conspicuous. Like Kim and Chloe take Bogalusa or something like that.
Not Bogalusa.
Like
well, I think
it's like a
those shows normally centered around them opening another one of their stores in that city. So like,
open one.
Not Dash Bogalusa.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Oh my God, not Dash Bogalusa. This is not The Simple Life.
I want to see a Kardashian-styled Simple Life.
Oh
like, I want to see that shit.
Oh my God. I still have those, at least the first 3 seasons on DVD. I keep saying I'm going to rewatch them because they were very fun.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Overall takeaways from
overall takeaways. So my overall takeaway is, when it comes to the supernatural things, I'm always going to watch it. Werewolves do not rank high on my list, but you know who does rank high on my list? Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
So she brought me here. I'm going to watch it. There's the mythology in this world, so I'm going to want to see how it unfolds. I'm going to want the backstories and all this good stuff. So I'm excited to see what they're going to give me. And I'm going to have to cancel something so that I can continue this damn Paramount Plus subscription.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm keeping it through the end of the series or season. And I have big hopes for Sarah Michelle's character, because one thing about Sarah Michelle Gellar is she's always going to honor her characters and their stories, right? Like she's going to stand firm for her characters, especially post Buffy, right? Because she tried and wanted to do that for Buffy in season 6. She notoriously loathes that season. She won't let her kids even watch past 5. So I think she's always been true to her characters and standing up for them, and she's going to make sure the story makes sense for them. So I have absolute confidence with her at the wheel as an executive producer and as a lead in the series that we're going to get a satisfying plot line with Kristen Ramsey. And I think it's going to be one bigger than we are expecting. I am dying to know what the twists are that she's talking about. These twists that not even she saw coming. I am so excited for it.
Yeah, God. And I like, oh my God, if they can make her like kind of a primary villain or at least an antagonist, I think it'll be so fun for someone that has been a hero to everyone for so long to like let her play bad.
I know. She plays villain so well. She's one of the only, I mean, not only, but like she's one of the few like actors who can really do a convincing and equally likable villain versus heroine, right?
Listen, to this day, my mom does not like her because of her role on whatever soap opera she was in.
All My Children.
She was like, "Oh, I can't stand her ass." I'm like, "Mama, get off Buffy like that."
Yeah. Yeah, she started out playing like a villain, you know, and then I think she brought that back to Cruel Intentions. So, and she won an Emmy.
So
That was her
good.
first Emmy, was
So
for
good.
Kendall
Cruel
and All My
Intentions. Oh
Children.
my God.
I know. I am so bummed to this day that that series did not work out. Like she was shooting a series, you recall? Like it was Cruel Intentions, and she was reprising her role as Catherine, and she you know, it didn't fly. And it makes me, I wonder if, like, considering the success, and I say success, like the hype of Wolfpack solely because of Sarah's return to TV like this, if that would maybe fuel a potential Cruel Intentions, like revisiting that, the idea for that series. But I think also she's already said, she's like, because they ask her that in the interviews if she would reprise that role. And she's like, well, I think we've already seen that with Do Revenge. Like she's more of a Catherine type character in Do Revenge. And I'm like, oh, but that's not enough, Sarah. That's not the same. You know, like we want to see true Cruel Intentions, like, you know, bitch Cassidy, like on screen Catherine. So I'm like, you know, it's great to see you in Do Revenge, but that wasn't enough for me. I want more of that. So
right.
Maybe I can't wait to see what other projects she gets from this. If you know what, I'm dying to see her on the big screen again. Like, give me, I don't even care what it is. Like, just give me it.
Yeah. We deserve more, Sarah Michelle. Like, we've given you plenty of time to yourself, Sarah. You had like your family time. Now you must come back to your other children because we need you.
Your first kids, the ones who really matter.
Your first kids who have been there since you were in high school. And we love you.
So much. We love you. We honor you. We've missed you.
Welcome back to our lives. You never left our hearts.
That's so beautiful, Keenan.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know, Sarah.
Okay, what you watching?
Girl, what you watching?
Honestly, I've not really. It's been the same old, same old. I did. I started watching. Teen Wolf. And I was like, oh, this part of the season of like the whoever the alpha was for season 1, I was like, I completely forgot all about this whole storyline. I'm glad I didn't skip it. So I'll try to make my way through that. And must say, Pedro Pascal was on this most recent episode of Saturday Night Live, and it was fucking hilarious from start to finish. It's probably, to me, one of the funniest episodes in years.
Really? Okay, so I saw like this bit. I didn't see the bit, but I saw the headline for a clip of the bit that I said I mentally marked, and I said I'm going to go and watch this at another point. But it's a spoof of Last of Us crossing over with Mario Kart, and I just saw him dressed as Mario, and I'm like, I gotta watch that.
Jonah. Cackle. Like every skit was so good. He plays one of the cast members' mom in a skit.
The cast member's mom?
Yeah, like oh my God, I don't remember the name of the cast member, but he's typically like a typical Latin grandmother on TV, or like mom on TV, who's like doting over her son, and like it's very sus of the girlfriend. And the girlfriend says one thing at the end after her mom has been talking shit about her this whole time in Spanish, but it's very like Spanglish, so you know what's going on. She says one thing and she's like, oh, okay, why did you say this? It is like all of a sudden it's very funny. Like it was just such a funny episode of Saturday Night Live. I was like, oh, Pedro Pascal, you're so hot. There's a one where he's like a teacher and having a seminar and he's telling the kids like they can't make fan cam videos of them. And they're just these TikToks that just keep coming up of him making very like cute faces and like pulling down his glasses, where like kids are making these and posting them. And then he's like, I try to understand, why are you doing this? And like, because you're on our neck. You leave no crumbs. Like very much like it was good. Just go watch it.
I will.
Go watch it.
I will.
Go stream it on Peacock. It's great.
That is, speaking of things, what I'm watching and continuing to watch Last of Us. The last episode, the Bill and Frank episode, I think that's the character's name. It's a gay love story, and it's getting a lot of like gay fan attention right now. It's a standout, critically acclaimed episode. It's truly so good. And I love, and I'm not just saying that because it's gay characters in an apocalypse. It's like, it was such a breath of fresh air. It was unexpected. And for viewers like me who aren't familiar with the video game, I was like, and I love what they did with the characters, because you have this like Nick Offerman plays this super like butch.
Okay, first of all, let me say this, because the fact that no one is talking about that being Nick Offerman boggles my mind. They're like, hey, remember the random guy from that obscure gay show on HBO that a handful of people watched Looking? This is the reason why y'all should watch that episode. No one was like, y'all, Nick Offerman does a really good job in this episode. Okay, that's fair. When you first mentioned that to me, we were talking about this recently, and I said, oh no, I've been seeing like, interviews and articles where they are mentioning him, but I have seen way more of them mentioning, what is his name? I totally forgot his name. But the other actor who has been on White Lotus season 1 and Looking, they do talk more about him. And I think the reason that's happening is because he is, one, a gay actor, and also he's already done series like this. But I'm like, okay, but also all the more reason to talk about Nick Offerman, because Nick Offerman is, he plays like butch gay with like inner sensitivity so well. He plays that line so well, and he's such a likable character, even just knowing that he's like this super conservative doomsday prepper who like you just anticipate being a little bit like an asshole, but he's likable even then because he's funny, he's comical in a way. I just love that story. And I'm like, if you don't watch the rest of the show and you only watch that episode, I think you would appreciate it because it's such a good standalone. Like it almost is like a little mini movie, like love story that's set within this larger story that slightly ties into the other one, to the main characters, because the main characters come in as just like side characters or whatever. But this is their story, these two men's story, and they take care of each other. And it's also great because it's older men, it's middle-aged men, in a post-apocalyptic world, and you don't ever see that on TV. And so I don't know, it's worth all the hype that it's getting. In terms, the show in itself is worth all the hype, but that particular episode, I'm so glad that it's gotten such a like great feedback. And I love Nick Offerman is just so, it made me like him even more. I already loved him, but I'm like, you're so well-rounded as an actor. And this is just one more example. Yeah, I'll watch it. I'm not going to watch it until, like more episodes are available, like probably until the end. Mm-hmm. I'll give it a shot then. But like knowing that Nick is in an episode probably is going to make me want like actually follow through with that plan to watch it. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Let me know what you think about it when you do.
We shall see. But that's it, Jonah. Yeah. Oh my God, my brain just stopped. Well, we talked about the very few things that I'm watching and the few things that you're watching. And we've talked about this awesome show that we want to know how you feel about it. Have you watched Wolfpack? Do you plan on watching Wolfpack? Are there other reasons besides Sarah that brought you to this show? Let us know because we want to find out. In the meantime, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast. You can follow us on Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Spotify, and Stitcher. 5 stars, please.
Yes, please. Even if you don't think we earn it, I promise you at some point we will.
There's going to be an episode that's going to make you cackle. So just go ahead and give us a preemptive 5 stars.
Yeah. And if you are on the socials, follow us on the socials. We would love to engage with you. Hit us up with some comments. We might read them on the air. You can find us on Facebook at 3 Wine Podcast 1, or just simply search the Rewind Podcast. Not too many of us with that name out there. And Twitter at the Rewind_pod, or Instagram or TikTok at the Rewind Podcast.
Yes. Speaking of social, Shona, do you want to talk about our most recent tweet? And so before we talk about some of the interaction, we posted a tweet in reference to our Walker Independence episode where we were talking about the chemistry between Callian and Gus. And it got a lot of attention. People really agreed with that chemistry, and they want to see more of our fave couple, Callian and Gus. And we're gonna go ahead and call him a friend of the pod.
Yeah,
friend of the pod, Philemon Chambers, who is our Sheriff Deputy Augustus in Winchester, told us to be careful what you ask for. See you February 16th. So that is the next episode of the show. And then we, not too long afterwards, got a follow from Kat McNamara, the star of Walker Independence. Oh, Abigail Walker herself.
Abigail Walker herself. Look, okay, yesterday, whenever you sent me that text, right, I was with a friend. We were out and about, and this friend doesn't really do a lot of TV like that. Definitely doesn't watch CW shows or Walker or whatever. So had no idea the importance of this. My enthusiasm was so wasted on that moment, but I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, you've got to be fucking kidding me. And he's like, what? And I was like, Kat McNamara just followed our podcast. And he just was quiet. And I'm like, okay, let me tell you why this is important. Okay, we've had all these interactions and engagements on social with these other actors and stuff, and some consistently, but yet they have not really followed our podcast, right? However, this is the first time a lead in a series, one of the series we've covered, no less, has followed us that I can recall, unless there's someone.
Yeah, because I don't think Philemon follows us.
Yeah, Philemon, come on. Get on it, man. We're besties.
It's not.
Kat beat you to it. So come on. We're here for you. We're standing you. This is a Philemon Chambers Stand podcast.
Yes. We will always stand Philemon.
But we had people who had commented that they thanking us for talking about the chemistry between Callian and Gus, because we weren't the only ones who, noted it.
Yeah, oh my gosh, people were really on board with what we had to say, and they were just like, oh my God, yes. And because of this little tease, I think because the show is also on one of those wild CW hiatuses, so it'll be back on the 16th. So I don't know if we are actually going to get Gus's story then, or if we are going to, if that's just the return date. But we shall see. And I'll probably live tweet that episode when I watch it.
Yeah, we were talking about how we want to see more of their backstory, and we want to see them kiss and all this stuff. Yes. And Keenan made really great points about how we would love to see more gay male like affection on camera, kissing specifically, because we get more of the femme, side of that, but we don't get the male side of it so much. And so Philemon had commented on the video and said, Philemon, who plays Gus, had said, "Be careful what you ask for," with a like shush emoji. See you February 16th. And I was like, Philemon, don't play with us. Like, don't play with our emotions. And then we also have Laura, who commented on that same video. Laura, whose handle is BreatheFire210. She said, in Callian's quick look at Gus when Nasha asked about important people in his life, cannot wait to learn more. I did not catch that. And so I said, I'm going to have to watch that.
Catch it, Jonah. Oh, so, okay. So there are two instances because Nasha's little girl is talking to Gus and says something along like, I bet your wife is proud of you. And there's like a moment and he's like, she's not anymore, or she used to be, or something like that, to indicate that like, like she is no longer pro him. And then you're like, oh wait, he was married. Something soured there. And then you get Nasha. So it was like a build, because like after that, Nasha asks like, do you have anyone in your life? And he kind of looks out the window and you see Gus playing with Nasha's daughter. And I was like,
okay, I didn't read it as that. I read it as, oh, she's no longer with us. Like she died or something. So I'm like,
I didn't know. I didn't read it. Now I do. There was a lot of like, this isn't the Nasha I knew as a kid. There was a lot of like that kind of body language. But I think this was like, he made a point to look out the window and there's this lingering shot of like Gus playing with the girl. And he's when she asked like if there's anyone important in his life or something like that. And I was like, it was very much a look. Oh my God. So I don't know. I just want it. I want it. But it's a fun thread. Go check it out. And then leave your thoughts.
Yeah, we would love to hear more from you specifically, and leave us a voice message or shoot us an email, therewindpodcast1@gmail.com, and hit us up on anchor.fm/rewind-podcast, where you can leave us voice messages or watch previous episodes of the podcast. We have it all for you at your fingertips.
Yes, everything. Yeah. So Jonah, how can they find you on the internet?
On the interwebs, you can find me at Quirky Writer Guy on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram at Breaking Down Joe or JS Taylor Writes. You can also find me on TikTok at Breaking Down Joe or The Cult Pop.
Awesome. You can find me on all the places at Keeks on camera now. And on Instagram, the O for on is a 0 because there's a spam account that is Keeks on camera. So I'm like Keeks on camera, but a 0 for the O and on.
You know how I read that whenever I see it now? I'm like, Keeks own camera.
Keeks own camera. Oh my God.
Because the O just looks so bougie as fuck, right? Like it's skinnier than all the rest. It's like, that O is on a diet, bitch, and it is surfing.
Not that O was on a diet. It's fully a 0. But yes, and you can, if you're into nerdy things, you can find me on DC on HBO Max podcast, where we talked about all things the DC announcement recently. We talk about the Titan series, and we've talked about Doom Patrol and Harley Quinn. And there's an upcoming Harley Quinn and Ivy Valentine's Day special. So we'll be talking about that soon.
That'll be fun.
I know. I love it. I love Harley Quinn. That series is so fun.
Everybody's favorite DC anti-hero, right?
Mm-hmm. We love Harley Quinn. But it's like Harley and their like group of lovable rogues. You have Clayface and King Shark is in the mix. She has Poison Ivy has a sentient potted plant named Frank that is voiced by JB Smooth.
I fucking love plants named for humans.
Frank is, I love Frank. I just love Frank so much. And Frank is like us and all that, because like Frank always has some kind of commentary to what is going on. And I was like, Frank is us. Frank is us. So give Harley Quinn a watch if you have not. It's on hiatus right now. Oh my God, that's everything. We've come to the end.
Oh, what a fun episode. I just enjoy the watch of this show. I enjoy talking about it. And yeah, I'm so excited to see what's to come with this series.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So in the meantime, everyone, be kind.
And please rewind.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Wake up to a new morning, pop in a little nostalgia, just be kind and listen to the rewind.